So let's get right into it. It's easy to think that people lose respect for us because of, I don't know, our job title, how much money we make, or what we look like. But the truth is, psychology tells us it's usually something much, much quieter, something happening right inside our own heads. So today, we're going to unpack the 7 specific attitudes that are secretly destroying the respect people have for you. And really, it all boils down to this one simple question. See, most of us, we kind of think being liked and being respected are the same thing. But they're not even close. In fact, chasing after being liked is probably the fastest way to lose respect. So you got to ask yourself, and be honest here, which one are you really going for?
So what's the real difference here? Well, look at this. Being liked, that's all about looking outward. It's about seeking approval, right? Making sure everyone's comfortable, never rocking the boat. But being respected, that's about your own integrity. It comes from the inside. It's having the guts to say no when you need to actually handle conflict instead of just running from it. And that difference, right there, that's the whole game.
All right, so here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll talk about something called the respect blind spot. Then we'll get into those 7 attitudes, and we've broken them into 2 parts. The ones that undermine you and the ones that just drain everybody else. And stick around, because at the end, we'll lay out exactly how to build that earned respect. So this respect blind spot, what is it? Well, think of it like this. It's the huge gap between who you think you are and how other people actually experience you. It's your own attitude, working in the shadows, quietly tearing down respect. And this can go on for months, even years, before anyone ever says anything to your face. It's like a silent killer for your credibility.
Okay, let's dive into part 1. We're going to look at 4 attitudes that undermine you. I want you to think of these as the little voices in your head, those internal habits that are secretly poisoning how people see both your character and, yeah, your competence too.
Okay, number 1, and this is a huge one, the I already know attitude. You know the type. The second you act like you have all the answers and you stop being curious, something really interesting happens. People don't think, wow, they're so smart. Nope. They just think you're loud. You close yourself off from learning, and guess what? They close themselves off from you.
And there's actually a psychological term for this. It's called the Dunning-Kruger effect. It's basically a fancy way of saying it's a bias where your confidence just skyrockets way past your actual ability. And here's the kicker. The very moment you think you're the expert who knows it all, that's the exact moment you prove to everyone around you that you're not.
All right, next up is number 2, the victim energy mindset. Come on, we've all met this person, right? The one who's constantly saying, oh, nothing ever works out for me. It's this nonstop broadcast of self-pity, and it is a massive respect killer. Why? Because it makes you seem completely helpless. And let's be real, helplessness is pretty much impossible to respect. And here's the psychology behind why this is so powerful. We are hardwired to value agency. We're drawn to people who take responsibility for their own lives. So when someone has that victim mindset, they're not just looking for sympathy. They are literally draining the emotional energy out of the room. It makes people instinctively pull back, almost like self-defense. Okay, number 3 is tricky. The subtle arrogance trap. And it's sneaky because it's not about being loud and obnoxious. Not at all. It's that quiet stuff, like someone tells a story and you just have to one-up it. Or you turn every single conversation back to yourself. Or you give advice that isn't really advice. It's just you showing off how smart you are. It's a low-key power move and people feel it.
This quote just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? Respect doesn't come from speaking more. It comes from knowing when to shut up. See, that subtle arrogance, it's not really about confidence. It's about insecurity. It's a need to be the center of attention. True respect comes from the exact opposite, from being secure enough to let other people shine.
And the last one for this section, number 4, the constant complainer. You know who I'm talking about. This is the person who could win the lottery and complain about the taxes. It's not just being realistic, it's turning every conversation into a negative black hole. Being around them is just exhausting. You always have to be on your guard.
And again, there's a real psychological principle at play here. It's called emotional contagion. Basically, moods are contagious, like a cold. And the research is clear. Negative emotions spread way faster and more easily than positive ones. So a constant complainer isn't just voicing an opinion, they're literally polluting the emotional air for everybody in the room.
All right, let's just take a breath for a second. That was a lot. We just went through 4 huge respect killers. So be honest, just with yourself. Did any of those ring a bell? Maybe a little too close to home? Hey, it's okay. Just recognizing it is the most important first step you can take.
Okay, you ready to keep going? Part 2. Now we're shifting gears a little. These next 3 attitudes are less about your internal mindset and more about how your actions are directly affecting and draining the people you interact with every day. Coming in at number 5 is maybe the biggest paradox of all, the people-pleasing attitude. It's so ironic, right? You try so hard to get people to like you. You say yes to everything, you apologize for everything, but it totally backfires when it comes to respect. Why? Because you're not actually being nice, you're being unclear, and people don't trust what they can't predict. So let's get into the psychology of this. Every time you say yes when you mean no, you are literally teaching people that your boundaries don't matter, that your time, your energy, it's all negotiable. But when someone can say no, we instinctively respect that. It shows they respect themselves. And that's the bottom line. You can't get respect from anyone else if you don't first have it for yourself.
Number 6. Oof, this is a big one. The unaccountable type. This is the person who is never, ever at fault. It's always somebody else's fault, right? The boss, the traffic, the system. It's so unfair. Look, this isn't just a little annoying. It is a guaranteed 100% respect killer because you're basically telling the world you refuse to take ownership of your own life.
And this ties back to a concept called locus of control. Someone who blames everyone else as an external locus of control. They believe life just happens to them. But respect? Oh, respect flows to people with an internal locus of control. These are the people who know they're the authors of their own story. They own their successes and, this is the important part, they own their failures too.
And our final one, number 7, is the invisible effort mistake. This is a trap so many good people fall into. It's this idea that if you just work super hard, stay quiet, never cause a fuss, that people will just magically notice how amazing you are and give you the respect you deserve. Let me just give you the hard truth right now. That will not happen.
Why? Because respect is not a prize for being a martyr. It's a response to visible integrity. When you try to be humble by hiding how hard you work, you're also hiding the very things that people would admire. You have to show up. You have to speak up about what you're doing. You have to set the standard.
Okay, so we've spent all this time talking about what's going wrong. Let's talk about how to make it right. And this is the most important part. This isn't about some fake power pose or demanding people respect you. This is about a real, fundamental shift in your mindset so that you earn respect naturally.
And it really comes down to these 3 big things. First, stop looking for other people to tell you you're worthy. Stop chasing that validation. Second, own your story. All of it. The good, the bad, the ugly. It's all yours. And third, decide what your principles are and live by them, not by what's popular today. When you do these 3 things, something amazing happens. You stop chasing respect because you start commanding it.
Look, we've talked about a lot of stuff here, but information is useless without action. So I'm going to leave you with one final question, a challenge, really. After everything you've just heard, what is the one small change, the one tiny shift in your attitude that you're going to commit to, starting right now, today?